What is Orientalism? According to Edward Said, the Orient is a semi-mythical construct created by Western Europe to define itself in contrast to the East. Rather than seeking to understand Eastern cultures as they truly are, Orientalism invents a version of themselves that can be admired, romanticized, and controlled. This imagined East is often portrayed as timeless, exotic, and reflects Western desires more than reality. As I filmed across London, I began to see how this myth still shapes the way Asian and Middle Eastern cultures are presented today. According to the Oxford Political Review, Orientalism was a long deliberate history in Britain. In 1882, Prime Minister William Gladstone led the invasion of Egypt, driven by an imagined vision of the East. British elites, shaped by classical education and Renaissance ideals, viewed the Orient as irrational and ancient, everything Britain claimed not to be. This contrast allowed Britain to present itself as modern and superior. Museums and exhibitions displayed Eastern artifacts not to understand them, but to assert dominance. At the Victoria and Albert Museum, I found Islamic tiles connected to descendants of Prophet Muhammad and Genghis Khan. These were once sacred and culturally important, but all the labels ever mentioned were the geometric designs or that they had Arabic inscriptions on them. The museum never translated what they were saying. Were they to honor the descendants? They never tell us. In the South Asia Gallery, they featured a bronze statue of Shiva as the Lord of Dance during the Dance of Creation and Destruction. While they mention the name of the dance, the rest of the label highlights the beauty and dynamics of the statue, stripping the cultural significance of Shiva's dance in Hinduism and Asian religion. In the Chinese and Japanese galleries, I saw many types of ceramics and art. The ceramics had all different designs from flowers to traditional Chinese art on old Asian robes. Yet on the labels, they only mentioned that they were from imperial workshops and made to be shipped to the West, while disregarding any cultural significance. Later, while walking through antique and ceramic shops throughout London, I noticed the same thing. There were rows of Asian ceramics piled up against random objects like Buddha statues, Hindu deities, and Japanese prints with no explanation. It wasn't until I researched it that I could find the cultural importance of these pieces. The crane and bird designs I saw represented nobility, longevity, and spiritual transcendence, while the lotus and flower designs I saw represented spiritual purity. I then went to see Kyoto Garden and Holland Park. I saw koi ponds, old stone lanterns, and stepping stones. The garden was inspired by Japanese tradition, yet nowhere did I see the cultural significance or symbolism of these features. This reminds me of Japanese, the 19th century fascination of Japanese aesthetics. During this time, Japanese prints, ceramics, and architecture were widely copied across Europe. Artists and designers idealized their form but often ignored their meaning. The Kyoto Garden continues this by providing peace without education and performs Japanese identity without presenting it. Even the environment itself reflects an imagined Japan made for Western enjoyment. It is an imagination that fits into the Western construct of the East. These spaces, whether it be museum displays, shop shelves, or public gardens within the curated version of the East that highlights the identity without really giving it any meaning, cultural objects and natural environments are reduced to patterns, vague labels, and places designed for what Britain believes Southern Asia looks like. All surface-level admiration leading to everything appearing decorative. This reinforces the idea of the West creating a semi-mythical construct as a fictional East created by the West imagination that leads to Eastern cultures losing their voice and expressing their history. Edward Said warned that the power to display is also the power to define. This same power can be seen all throughout London today. London preserves culture, but oftentimes doesn't respect it. I believe to truly honor these cultures, we need to do more than make basic observations. We have to ask what these objects and places really mean. The Orient isn't some myth, but something real that we have to respect.